inspiring, with the Reverend Corey Parker delivering one of the most moving addresses I've ever heard in that setting.
The homeless crisis. It's another injustice demanding vigorous and positive action. Not somewhere else, but right here among us.
People who know me know that I love NPR. After clutching my pearls, I sent an email to corrections@npr.org pointing out the error. So no matter how fond I may be of a source when it comes to error, I will always try to nudge it back towards accuracy.
According to the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, over 650,000 people in America experienced homelessness on a single night in 2024. Families with children, veterans, seniors, and working adults now make up a growing share of those without stable housing.
I was also very proud of our community's young people who spoke with passion about Rock Island and its challenges.
We're preaching to be a together community, even though we rather watch each other suffer because the problem is too much. Kicking the homeless who are already down, kicking them to the curb, no homeless shelters, no home. Just the streets of our own town. Our council votes is 6-1 for no homeless shelters. Black individuals are the highest rate of homeless people in our town.
But I know that passion alone cannot create effective and sustainable solutions to those challenges.
The shelters are closed. Lock them out. They're wasting space trying to come indoors to flood our homes as if they already haven't flooded our funds.
And indeed, it's harder to find such solutions when our passions rest on inaccuracy.
We lost a human life just the other week due to carelessness and ignorant people who stand in high positions yet can't make good decisions.
Knowing someone had lost their mother, niece, or sister due to your voting, each time you lay in your nice homes with heat, think about your actions and our consequences to deaths in our community.
Such inaccuracies persist in the conversation about homelessness in the Quad Cities. The first is the most tragic. Repeated references were made to last November's death of a fellow Quad citizen in a vacant house in Moline.
Closing down those homeless shelters was a death sentence, forcing other people to fend for themselves.
These comments are made in such a way as to impute guilt on the part of at least 6 members of the City Council. The truth is that this neighbor was not locked out of a shelter by the city of Rock Island.
Indeed, she could have stayed in a shelter that night.
But toxicology reports that are on file with our county coroner, Brian Gustafson, indicate she made a decision to return to a vacant structure from which she'd already been evicted so that she could practice her addiction, resulting in her death.
Homelessness is not a character flaw. It is not laziness. It is not a personal failure. It is the predictable outcome of rising housing costs, stagnant wages, medical debt, mental health gaps, domestic violence, a lack of affordable housing, and systems that respond too late instead of early.
This was a terrible tragedy. But circulating false and misleading information about it only adds to its injustice.
We should protect those who cannot protect themselves, work hard, and stand up for those who cannot stand alone. As a community, the definition of ignorance is lack of knowledge.
Look, crowd cheers and Facebook likes are great for releasing endorphins, but they're not so effective in creating policy.
Success as a town, but we have done nothing but tear the walls down. The options to our success. Every time we have a chance to win, they move the finish line.
Despite loud allegations that this council's approach has been thoughtless and callous, we all heard last Wednesday's announcement of the new emergency shelter in downtown Moline. And let's be honest, that good news would not have happened if this council had bowed to the loud and continued the failed approaches of the past.
The chill from the cold begins to burn after a while. You condense human rights because of the depth and grimace that the city faces, yet you make yourselves look even worse by degrading those who have already lost all they had. Ibrahim was told to stay put until the last minute. Very tragic that staying put is something that our officials know a lot about, rather than how to treat people with the same quality as they expect.
Until you all said, enough is enough, other city councils in this community were quite content to let homelessness be
a Rock Island problem.
The fierce and hot wind of insensitivity, indifference, and inhumane perspectives have shut down homeless shelters.
New policy requires shelters to get a $500 yearly license and stay 1,000 feet from schools, daycares, and parks. It also gives the city manager the authority to approve, fine, or revoke licenses. Mayor Ashley Harris tried to veto the changes, but the veto fell short.
For the activists in these chambers and elsewhere, for keeping a light shining on the most vulnerable in our community.
The country of the free is all too familiar with doing that to people who don't have fair skin and as much value as they do. The majority of the homeless people in Rock Island, Illinois are people who look like me.
Though I would ask that everyone please be more thoughtful about promulgating inaccuracies and malicious falsehoods, especially for political gain.
Beating someone who can't fight back is weakness within itself.
My voice was made to speak the truth that others may run from it. So community of Rock Island, Illinois, do you hear me now?
The late activist Martin Luther King had a dream, indeed. Now I dream that all of our starving brothers and sisters have a place to call home.
Dr. King understood that homelessness was not just a housing issue, it was a justice issue. He said true compassion is more than flinging a coin to a beggar. It comes to see that an edifice which produces beggars needs restructuring.
But most importantly, to you, the City Council, you've received a lot of criticism, most of which has been as loud as it has been baseless. Here is one not so loud voice, nonetheless backed up by facts, saying, thanks for staying the course. Well done.
Homelessness is not inevitable. It is a policy choice. Policy choices can be changed.
Rest in paradise. Know as long as you still got somebody here to fight, your lives matter. There's clearly nothing as dear as life. You have become a symbol.